Would I be the asshole if I install locks on the toilet seat? Wibda if I install child lock on the toilet seat? I, 40 female. Live with my 2 teenaged sons, 15 male and 14 male, and my husband, 42 male. Recently we remodel a room for my 15-year-old to have his own bedroom, but he has to share the same bathroom as me and my husband. Prior to this room change I didn't have an issue with the toilet seat being left up because it rarely happened. This last week I have had to replace the toilet paper a lot more frequently and can't go into the bathroom without having to touch the dirty toilet seat to put it back down. Of course every time I ask who left it up everyone always says, "Oh, it wasn't me." My husband backs me up when he is awake. He works night shift for context, but considering that means that the 17 hours he is either at work or asleep I am stuck being the parent in charge. Tonight was the last straw. I walked in to go use the bathroom before bed and had to shut the lid down again. This is the 7th time today. When I told my son either put the lid down or use the other bathroom he smarted off, "Well, you are the only female in the house, why should we have to close the lid?" I have had enough of his attitude considering I have been busting my butt to ensure he had his own bedroom. Seriously feels like I am the only parent most days because of my husband's work schedule. I threatened to put a child lock on the seat and my son responded with, "Good luck cleaning pi $$ off the seat then." Wibda if I install child locks on the toilet? Just to add some clarity, he is now grounded for his disrespect and language he thinks is okay to use at me. Edit, update. Holy cow, I didn't expect this to instantly blow up. Okay, so backstory, we moved into this house last year. Our house we moved from the boys had basically their own living room, bathroom, and bedrooms. Our house we moved into is small. It was originally 2-bedroom 2 bathrooms. We remodeled the laundry, storage room into another bedroom for my oldest son. Prior to this the boys had a bathroom of their own in their room. My bathroom was off of the hall. The master bedroom was the boys' room even though it wasn't much larger than the one my husband and I have. So my 15-year-old now has the room across the hall from us. Prior to this room switch he shared a bathroom with his brother, and if they left the seat up that was their own issue seeing as they didn't use mine. As for how my son's punishment, he is now grounded from my bathroom and has to use the one in his brother's room. Since neither of them admitted to leaving it up they both have to share again. He also is currently washing laundry and cleaning my bathroom. His words were, "I am sorry for what I said and I understand why you are mad. Don't put a lock on the toilet lid, put a lock on the bathroom door and don't give him a key. You're putting the lock in the wrong place, just lock him out of that bathroom altogether, he can solely use the other one." And since he seems to think he is somehow in charge of anything, I'd be winding back on things he has access to, like gaming, Wi-Fi, etc. He thinks being a male in the house trumps being a parent. Then he needs to start learning some lessons in respect. Not the asshole. Son needs an attitude adjustment or he's well on his way to being the kind of man women avoid with that level of disrespect and entitlement. You're the only woman, so why should we put it down? Maybe because you should be respectful of the women you live with even if it's just one? That, "You're the only female" comment? Big yikes. Time for a crash course in basic respect and shared living. Lock the seat if you want. That's parenting with consequences. Not the asshole. Not the asshole for the spirit of that decision. But a 15-year-old is hardly going to be stymied by a child lock. A more effective punishment would be making him come into the room every time the seat is not down, if you have to drag him away from a game, or interrupt a phone call or whatever, and make him sanitize the toilet, wipe the floor and put the seat down. If you make him do that 5 or 7 or 10 times a day, he will get the message eventually. You might want to have a go through his internet history too. That rhetoric he's spouting has some toxic manosphere vibes. You'll want to have a serious chat with your husband about where your sons might be picking up these ideas too. I mean, I think a 15-year-old is going to be able to open a child lock on a toilet. Everyone in the household should be closing all the lids before they flush to prevent the aerosolized urine and feces particles from misting throughout the bathroom. Am I the asshole for sending child maintenance statements to my ex-mill? I, 35 female, split up with my ex just over a year ago. We had some issues with getting him to provide for our son, now 8. His parents were very much interested in the drama. When I made an application through official child maintenance service, and he received a schedule listing his monthly payments. His parents contacted me asking to agree to an unofficial payment plan, because the CMS amount was just too much, claiming that getting a lower amount agreed between us was better than not receiving a single penny through CMS. I refused, deciding that having this agreement on paper and not receiving it would still be better than maybe getting something. My ex didn't make a single payment and lost his job shortly after. His child maintenance amount was recalculated, granting him payments of £7-ish per week, which he still refused to pay, which then caused the CMS to collect the money themselves and charging him, and me, some extra fees for the service. His parents were very much aware of it, and complained about it, especially about the fees he gets charged 20%, and about the arrears that are still on the account. I'm sorry for the long intro, but I find it important. To the issue, it was my son's birthday last week. I took time off and took him on a too-short stay at one of the UK's theme parks. When his dad and his family found out, I received a call from his mother complaining that now that I live off her poor son, I can afford taking my kid to trips like this and making his dad look bad in comparison. For context, we've been to multiple theme parks over the years, including last year, when my ex still refused to pay a penny for his son. I couldn't help but laugh. In hindsight, I appreciate that it was immature. I just couldn't collect myself quickly enough, and told her not to contact me about this issue again. Well, she messaged me shortly after. I received a wall of text basically telling me off for making her son struggle, when I spent his money on memories and making myself look like the better parent. I couldn't take the bullshit and took 2 screenshots. 1. Holiday booking confirmation, including hotel, park tickets, etc. 2. Total child maintenance payments received in the last year. I sent it to her with a note. Has your poor son sponsored our trip, or has he taken active part in providing for son's name over the last year? You can't claim both. Pick one, please. In response, I received more angry messages from both ex-mother-in-law upset about being called out like that, and from my ex, who was angry that I got his mother involved and that I pointed out how bad he is at providing for our son. I don't think I got her involved, but my opinion may be skewed, so here I am, asking, Reddit, am I the asshole? Edit. I thought I'd edit the post to answer the most repeated question. I've been in touch with my ex-in-laws solely to allow them to stay in touch with my son. They have a good relationship with him, but they struggle to make arrangements with my ex to have proper grandparent-grandchild time during my ex's custody times. It's worked quite well in the last months. I do agree with you guys, this incident just made me want to seize all contact with my ex-mother-in-law, and I will contact them letting them know that from now on I'd like them to make alternative visitation arrangements between themselves, so I can have some peace and quiet. Your comments about being the asshole to myself made me realize that in attempts to keep my child happy and have contact with his extended family, I've given them too much freedom to try to butt in and comment on my own life. Not the asshole. 1. They wanted to F around. Now they're finding out. 2. You didn't involve the mill, she involved herself. 3. I wonder where your ex got his "I shouldn't have to be mature and responsible when I can just complain instead" trait. Not the asshole. This is giving everything. I don't think you went far enough. Bless your heart, are you embarrassed by your deadbeat son? It's hard to raise good kids, isn't it? Keep your receipts and use them every time. Not the asshole. Fantastic reply, legend status for you. But seriously, just block her number and stop communicating with her. Your ex can deal with his mother, there's no reason for you to waste your time with her. I had an ex like this. The payment calculated was next to nothing, but he still wanted a different agreement between us for less. I had it collected from the start, he worked under the table to avoid it. Luckily I didn't have his parents to deal with like you do. I feel for you. From the moment I got divorced, I promised myself that I wouldn't let his issues decide our lives. I took my kid on trips and to theme parks and put him through private school on my own. He is grown and his dad was never a part of his life. He never missed him. Not the asshole, and good on you. You're a good mom. Not the asshole. Of course he's telling her he's paying more than requested and you're blowing it. Now that she knows the truth, he's upset. Block her completely. Not the asshole. Why is it okay for people to not pay proper child support? And why do people think they can comment? Tell his mother you are bringing your son up to be a responsible, productive man. Maybe she should take some notes to fix where she went wrong. Am I the asshole for telling my uncle to mind his own business in front of everyone? All names have been changed. This happened on the 4th of July, but I'm still getting flack from my dad, so I figured I'd ask the internet. Some background: I, 17F, and my family gather at my aunt's, dad's sister, house on the 4th for a barbecue and hang out as a family. My dad and his family are mostly Irish, as their mom, my grandma, came to the US from Ireland when she was 20 and pregnant with her oldest. However, the only culture they kept was the drinking stereotype. This year, my sister, 24F, we'll call her Jenny, brought her boyfriend, 25M, who we'll call Eddie, to meet our dad's side of the family. Eddie doesn't drink, and my uncle, Dave, likes to make stuff like that his business. Throughout the evening, Dave sees that Eddie isn't drinking and is refusing alcoholic drinks. He walks over and offers a beer. Almost everyone was outside. I was inside getting a pop, soda, and Eddie was about to go back outside. This conversation ensues. Dave, do you want a beer? Eddie, no thanks. Dave, we have other kinds if you want to try those. This is an Irish household, we have plenty of beer. Eddie, no thanks, I don't drink. Dave, why? You're too young to be an alcoholic, or do you just like pretending you're better than people by not drinking? Now I'm listening. Uncle Dave has a habit of acting like this. He tries to egg people on. He even got into a fist fight with his niece at her own wedding. Eddie's father is an alcoholic, and Eddie just doesn't like the taste. Dave bugged Eddie for another 5 minutes before I said, "Me, Uncle Dave, can you just mind your own damn business? He doesn't have to tell you anything." Dave didn't like that, and after telling me I was a disrespectful punk with no care for authority, went outside to the patio. I found out later he complained to my dad about me cursing at him. Once home later that night, after getting an earful from my dad on the car ride home, Eddie thanked me for standing up for him. My dad says I had no right to say that to my uncle and need to apologize for being rude. I tried to ask about my uncle questioning Eddie about something that was none of Dave's business, but my dad just got mad that I was calling him Dave and not Uncle Dave. So Reddit, am I the asshole? So rudeness is forbidden, unless it's from your uncle. Got it. Not the asshole, what an ass. Sounds like you're the only one with balls. No, and keep doing it. Uncle Dave needs more people to check him on his bullshit is what it sounds like. Not the asshole. The only rude people at the party were Uncle Dave and anyone else who casually stood by while he badgered a guest about drinking when they clearly didn't want to. Totally not the asshole. Dave and your dad are definitely a couple of jerks. Not the asshole. Did Dave apologize for being rude and violent to his niece at her wedding? Your father is an asshole for insisting you had no right to say it. Eddie has the right to refuse alcohol. Eddie doesn't have the right to harass him about it. Am I the asshole for reporting my classmate to our professor? I'm in grad school and currently taking one of the prerequisite courses required to graduate. We have to partner up for the class since it involves research. My partner has been asking me to finish her homework for the class because she's been busy with work and other responsibilities. I told her repeatedly I will not do that, yet she keeps asking me both in person and text messages. I decided to tell the professor about everything because she was making me feel uncomfortable and her work is not my responsibility. She's now upset because she said she's going through a hard time and just needed the help. According to her, I betrayed her. She keeps telling me how she will fail the class. Am I the asshole here? Not the asshole. This sort of thing is against the academic code of conduct at pretty much every institution. You are responsible for your own work, and having someone else do it is a big no-no. Not the asshole. If she can't take no for an answer, then you should report. Especially since her nagging becomes something that weighs on you. Not the asshole. If she needed help, she should have gone to whatever student services are available, not kept hassling someone who already said no. Hopefully this is a wake-up call to either get the help she needs, or take classes more seriously than she has been if she wasn't really in need of help at all. Academic fraud is a thing, and you can get in trouble for it. You are not the asshole for not being willing to put your academic future on the line for someone who could have approached the professor themselves about their situation. If she can't complete her work, she needs to go to the professor and get an incomplete, and come back and finish the course once her situation is resolved. Not the asshole. No issue with reporting cheaters or people attempting to cheat.